Hi, my name's Edyn. I'm not leading a workout today, but I want to finally review my Bellicon now that I've had it for over a month. I planned on doing a 30-day review, but I just looked back on the delivery and I got it January 24th, and today is March 12th, I believe. So I've been using it consistently every day except for one day in that time frame. I have used my Rebounder every single day since then. So I feel like I have a good idea of what to talk about today. I want to craft this video in a certain way because I tend to ramble. So I'm going to start with the benefits of rebounding and why I chose to start rebounding, followed by a Bellicon specific review, why I chose Bellicon, why I love Bellicon. Then a comparison of the other rebounders I've had. So I've had a Ravs rebounder from Amazon and a Jump Sport rebounder, which is probably one of Bellicon's like biggest, I wouldn't necessarily say competitors, but it's most comparable. And then lastly, what I noticed over the past 35-ish plus days of using my Bellicon. So let's go ahead and get started. Then I'm going to reposition the camera and we'll talk about the benefits of rebounding first. Okay, so why I kind of decided to lean towards rebounding was because obviously I teach yoga, and yoga is also low impact, but it can be hard on the joints still. And then you can lean into things like, chair yoga. But I really wanted something that I could work on cardiovascular health in all seasons. So when it's super, super hot and you can only go out in the wee hours of the day, or when it's starting to get dark during the summer, when in other parts of the country it may get colder than it does in Texas, but in Texas the main concern is really the heat and heat advisories and things like that. So I wanted something like that. I had thought about a Peloton, I had thought about a treadmill, but ultimately landed on a rebounder. The cost is pretty comparable depending on the level of bike that you get. If you're just getting one from Costco or something like that, it's pretty comparable to the price of a rebounder. I also wanted something that could be high or low intensity, but still low impact. So the rebounder definitely absorbs, the Bellicon specifically, not all rebounders. The Bellicon specifically absorbs up to 90% of the shock on your joints, and I have some hyperextending joints. So on occasion I do overextend joints and need a little bit more rehab time, and that kind of puts me out when I am doing things like dance or walking or lifting weights. But when I'm on the rebounder, you can rehab through those injuries with a very low impact, gentle, the bounce. And a lot of physical therapists and chiropractors will have rebounders in their office, most of them at the advice of NASA. NASA uses rebounding for astronauts because your muscles atrophy with the lack of gravity, and you're working sometimes upwards of 200 muscles in your body while rebounding. And you're not only getting a cardio workout, you're also strengthening and rebuilding those tissues. So those are kind of the main points in which I decided to rebound. Also, more on the woo-woo side of things. Your body has a couple of major systems. One is the circular system and one is the lymphatic system. The circulatory system, it has its own pump. Your blood is always circulating. You don't have to do anything. Your body's doing it on your own. Of course, with things like yoga, you can increase circulation with poses like legs up the wall or with twists. But the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump, so you have to move it. And a lot of people get swollen lymph nodes, lymphedema, different lymph disorders because there's not a movement in that system. So the rebounder, just with a gentle bounce like this, helps drain that system and could help prevent some health issues. Of course, there's a lot of research behind it. You can definitely look into that on your own. I'll post some of the stuff I read down below, but I was really interested in those benefits too. Just as I get older, Maybe I'll get a bar if my balance isn't quite as good, to be able to step onto it and still get that like gentle lymph massage at home daily, releasing those toxins from your lymph nodes by bouncing and having that moment in time where you're weightless, and it really helps with your lymph system. So that is part of the reason why I chose rebounding. So, and of course I was a cheerleader for a good amount of my life. I was also in gymnastics, so I always just thought trampolines were incredibly fun, but I also knew that they were an amazing workout. There's still my old trampolines in my parents' backyard. We've had many sizes of trampolines depending where we lived to fit you know, our different backyards and stuff. So I just love trampolines anyhow. So yeah, that's why I decided on this as a method of exercise, not my only method, but a method. Next, why I chose Bellicon. Bellicon is the world's #1 rebounder, and they don't pay anyone to say that. I know multiple influencers that have reached out to Bellicon and they're like, we'll give you like a couple % off, like 10% off, which barely covers the tax, you know, because they know their product's really good, so they don't really have to do a lot of advertising. They've been around for a very long time, and they really have their rebounders down to a science. The reason that I went with Bellicon specifically is because their frame is rated for up to 440 pounds, and I believe they have like 6 band strengths, and they have a chart. The chart tells you which band strength is best for you. I went with the ultra strong, which is anyone I think over like 300 pounds. But yeah, up to 440 pounds. It's really hard to get a good quality rebounder for that weight range. So when a lot of people ask me about rebounding, I stick to the Bellicon if you're at a heavier weight, because I got other rebounders that were rated for my weight class, but I was sinking into the bottom. You can see I'm sitting on this and it's still pretty level because the bands support my weight really, really well, and that's gonna prevent injury in the long run. So this is expensive, I get it. I paid mine in 4 payments, which is typically something I wouldn't do. I'm like one of those people that's like, if you don't have the money, don't spend it. But if I would have paid on a treadmill or a Peloton, I was like, why not? This is an investment in my health. It's already paid off now. And that was an option. I did the PayPal pay in 4 is what I chose to do. They also have Klarna. So yeah, that's what I decided to do for mine so that I wouldn't have any interest, and I just paid it off that way. It is pricey, but I see people that have their Bellicons from 10 years ago. They've maybe replaced their bungees twice. So it's a really good investment, really great quality, built in Germany. The one con I would say is they use DHL to deliver. DHL is the worst. Yeah, they're the worst. So out of the people I know that have personally ordered through my affiliate link, I'm a Bellicon affiliate, I get a tiny little kickback when you purchase, which really helps because I would like to get a 49-inch. This is a 44-inch. I probably should have said that at the beginning. This is a Bellicon Classic. I went with the Classic, not the Pro. Normal mat, not the Comfort mat. The Comfort mat is padded here and comes out a little bit further. I did the rainbow bungees. You can do 2 colors or the rainbow, I believe, or up to 3 colors in the rainbow, or just 1 solid color. You can also get a color on your mat. I went with black, but you can get a color to match whatever your bungees are. And I went with the screw-in legs versus the fold-down legs. So mine's just the classic mat, screw-on legs, ultra strength bungees, 44-inch. So I would like to get the 49-inch, and I plan to use my affiliate income to do that. But of the people I know 4 total. 2 have gotten theirs with no issues. I had issues getting mine. They delivered it to San Antonio. I live in Austin. I want this to be honest and for you to expect the unexpected. So they delivered it to San Antonio, DHL. I live in Austin. It's 2 hours away. Well, 1 hour and 45 minutes away. Instead of delivering it from San Antonio to Austin, they delivered it from San Antonio back to Ohio and then to Austin, which added like an additional 4 days to my delivery. I know someone else that has gotten lost completely by DHL. It takes DHL like a week or so to do a claim, to deem it lost after failed deliveries before Bellicon will order you another one. So it is a long process if for some reason DHL loses your package. And the person I know that hers got lost, it was a 49-inch one, and I'm like, how do you lose something that's literally the size of a coffee table? So I just want to be honest in that difficulty that like half of the people I know have had issues with DHL shipping them. It's not a Bellicon issue, it's a delivery issue, but since it's international, that's the only option for shipping. And it sucks. So just keep that in mind. I haven't really noticed any wear on my bungees, just a little bit of like rippling in the color, but that's normal as they stretch, and it's really only in the red one, so I think it's kind of unique to the red color. But overall, Bellicon's amazing quality. They have pretty darn good customer service. I really appreciate every time that I've reached out to them. They've been very responsive. They've been very helpful to you guys when you've reached out. So yeah, overall, this is the best rebounder I think you could really go with. Now for comparisons, I have also had the JumpSport 570. The JumpSport 570 is my old rebounder. It was rated up to 325 pounds. I was below that at the time, and I was consistently sinking into the middle. I reached out to them. They sent me a new pair of bungees, but that didn't help for me. I was still always pronating in and really sinking into the middle. When I jump on this Bellicon, it's an even bounce. All my weight isn't pitching in, and that could really cause a lot of injury in the ankles when you're constantly trying to readjust because the mat is dipping in so much. I will say that since I had a JumpSport, they have released in, I think they call it a strong bungee. It's blue, and it's supposed to be stronger than these and for more like physical fitness. So if you're in that 300-pound range, maybe that would help keep you up better. But that's only for their big rebounder, the 570 model. The 350 model, which is a model that I see a lot of people use, I think it has like a 220 or 225 weight range. And if you're within that weight range, I'm sure it would be absolutely fantastic for you. So you may not need a Bellicon. Kinda. I'll explain later. You may not need a Bellicon because it's perfectly within your weight range, and the 350, like their standard fitness trampoline, Facebook Marketplace all the time. So if you're like, I just need one, I'm not a big girl, I'm smaller, I could do like a smaller rebounder. They're not as wide. The 370 is like much smaller, or 350 model is much smaller of the JumpSport. Go on Facebook Marketplace, buy it, buy a new set of bungees from JumpSport. You basically have a brand new rebounder, and that's like the quickest way I've been telling people that aren't plus size to get started. Leaps and Rebounders, another brand that people really like. However, it's a bungee rebounder like this too. However, they still are not over 300 pounds. I believe it's 2 something weight range. So if you're plus size and the rebounder, like the Bellicon rebounder, is out of your price range, just go to Amazon, type in bungee rebounder or elastic rebounder and your weight, like 350, 400, 440, whatever your weight is, just type it in and see what comes up, and you can start on that, because the good thing about starting that way is you're not going to know the difference. You're not going to know the difference because you don't have the comparison. So like once you have the comparison, you'd be like, holy crap. But if you don't have the comparison, you're probably going to think your rebounder is great. I would say just generally to stay away from spring rebounders. I have a great memory of spring rebounders, especially for the backyard. I think they're fine, but the spring rebounder, the Rabs one that I purchased with the 400-pound weight limit, I jumped on that one time for 10 minutes and it felt like I got hit by a truck the next day. I might as well have been jumping on the ground. That thing was very, very, very high impact. Like, it was not soft on the joints at all. So hold on, my phone's ringing. All right, I have no idea where I left off before that phone call came in. I think I was talking about the one, okay, so spring rebounders. The only 2 spring rebounders I would ever say that maybe you could try out, and I do see these on Facebook Marketplace from time to time, is the Nedak. Nedak and Celicizer are like the OG rebounders. They are more for like a lymphatic drainage, I'd say, than like hardcore workouts. However, David Hall, I believe, the creator of Celicizer, does have like a good amount of rebounder workouts on his website. But his is, again, up to 300 pounds. The Nedak has one that can go, they're very similar design. They have the springs that split like this. And I know abroad, rebounding's really big abroad. And there are a lot of rebounding studios, and some of them still use spring rebounders, but it's the ones where there's 2 springs that go kind of like this. I think the Maxim Pro is a brand that a lot of those studios use. So the Nedak has a soft bounce, which is for up to 300 pounds, and then a hard bounce, which is up to 600 pounds, I believe. And basically, it's just a different mat type so that it can accommodate for the weight. However, they only make very small rebounders, like 38 inches, because they don't want that sag in the middle, because they don't have like the bungees. So yeah, on comparison wise, the Jump Sport, I didn't have the best experience with it, which is why I ended up selling it for my weight specifically. And I would say people that have the leaps and rebounders, people that have the Jump Sport really enjoy them. However, if you type in comparison videos on YouTube at all, Bellicon versus leaps and rebounders, Bellicon versus Celicizer, Bellicon versus Jump Sport, everyone that has both and goes back and forth between the 2 always says the Bellicon is their favorite. The Bellicon is like mind-blowing how it's so bouncy, so soft, so it really absorbs your shock back into the mat. You can feel the difference. So every comparison video I've ever watched, the Bellicon has come out on top, with the exception of one that compared the Celicizer and the Bellicon. They said they really liked both, but the Bellicon is quieter. And I think they said that the Celicizer was easier to store because it can be folded in half. But if you get the Bellicon with the folding legs, it could easily be slipped under a bed, slipped under a couch. I like to keep mine out in the open as a reminder to use it every single day. So I don't mind not having folding legs or traveling with it. They do have traveling bags, but this is a big beast right here. You know, it's pretty big. So to travel with this might be a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much the first 3 sections of my video. Why I chose rebounding, the Bellicon itself, and then the comparisons. Now my like 30 something day review is, I still absolutely love it. I've seen my fitness level definitely improve the first few times I got on it. 2 minutes, like getting through one song, I was absolutely pooped, like out of here. It was so hard. My partner came over last week. It was the first time he'd been here since I'd had my Bellicon. He jumped on it for maybe a minute and a half, and he was sweating. And I would consider him someone that's pretty in shape. He plays basketball and runs and stuff, and he was like, yeah, that's much harder than it looks. So it looks like a very easy, fun workout, but it is like a challenging workout, and you can grow over time using it. I haven't really had any kind of pain. I definitely felt sore after I do ab workouts on here. Like twists are really great for your core. You can do that here on the Bellicon. You can do different ab workouts by sitting on it, bouncing, and then creating resistance by leaning back. You can step up onto it like a box, like you're doing like kind of like box jumps, that kind of thing. You can step up onto it like a step. I just think it's really awesome. You can just take it easy for like recovery one day, or you can really amp it up and, you know, bounce it out if that's what you want to do. I kind of stay right in the middle. I do really appreciate that it's practically silent, that there hasn't been any wear on the mat or any of the components other than the like little rippling I showed you on the red, which I'll show you guys that up close so that you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I love it. I can bounce for probably like 20 minutes now. I don't always. I really like that it's a snackable form of exercise. Like anytime you see it, you can just come jump for a couple minutes, a couple times throughout the day, which is typically what I like to do. But there are like some great studios online that you can practice with. Of course, I post free videos here on YouTube. We may be doing some live classes soon. There's a studio in Edmonton that I really like. I will link them down below. Bar Groove Studio, I will link them down below. I'll link the Cellicizer and Bellicon website, like their health benefits pages, because I thought that those were really good just as I was getting to learn Bellicon Home. When you purchase a Bellicon, you get 30 days free to try it out. And I think it's a pretty like minimal cost after that if you would like to continue with it. They also have a good deal of free workouts on YouTube if you would like to you know, work out with them on YouTube. There's plenty of people teaching on YouTube as well for free, so you don't really have to invest in anything additional because there are lots of resources. And I tell people all the time, like, you don't need to follow me, you don't need to follow anyone. Just turn on some music and bounce. And it's just so fun. You really feel it. Your cardio, your legs, your calves, you can really feel them getting stronger. Your digestion is better. For sure, I felt like my digestion has been so much better. So I've just really been enjoying my Bellicon. I became an affiliate. Anyone can become an affiliate. I get a small kickback when you guys purchase them. And they don't do sales super often, but if you follow me on Instagram, I try to post sales. They did $50 off for Valentine's Day, so I posted that. You can still use my link and get the $50 off. They do it for like sometimes Cyber Week and Black Friday and stuff like that, so I'll try to keep you updated on any sales that they do. Of course, they have the payment plan options if that's something that you like to do. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I know some of you guys have ordered it. One of you told me in a DM, like, I got rid of my treadmill, like, I'll never go back. It is so fun, such a good workout. You can really amp it up. You can really put some tension into your squats. You can use it as a bar if you're doing bar workouts. Yeah, it's been really awesome. I'm enjoying it. I'm ready to get a little bit bigger of one because I would really just like to be able to, like, when I'm jumping outwards, to extend my legs really wide. But the benefit of, you know, rebounding is there are multiple sizes depending on your needs, depending on your apartment size. This 44 inch is kind of middle of the road, which is best for most people, I'd say. I would like the 49 inch, but there's also like 39 inches. If you don't need something that's quite as large, or if your body circumference isn't quite as large as mine, the 49 inch I'm excited for because just laying down for like more core things. Like right now my head is here and my knees are here. I'd like for my head to still be on like the mat when I'm doing those kinds of things. So that's why I'm looking to upgrade eventually. Then I'll sell this one. Yeah, another thing that this is probably gonna be the last thing, and I probably should have put this in the comparison. I was thinking, I don't know for sure that this would work, but if you want a Bellicon but it's out of your price range and you are like at the larger end of plus size like me, you could probably find a rebounder on Amazon, a bungee rebounder, and just look to see if it has similar clips to this. And if it has similar clips, you could probably just buy the frame and then go to Bellicon and buy a set of bungees, because the set of bungees I think is around $100, and if you buy a rebound on Amazon, this is close to $600 just for the base model. So if you go to Amazon and buy a rebounder for like $100, $150, and then buy look at the clips. If they look similar, buy the bungees, because the bungees are really the revolutionary part about Bellicon. And then buy bungees and put the Bellicon bungees on a regular frame. I think you would probably have a pretty decent rebounder. I mean, the mat might be a little different, like the material of the mat, but I feel like overall you would get a pretty good bounce out of that. So that is something, if you wanted to like see if maybe you could DIY something, that might be an option. So that is all I have for this video. I didn't really bounce on it a lot. Maybe I should, just so you guys can hear what, like, how quiet it is. I'm sure you guys have seen my rebounder videos if you're watching this. So yeah, I don't know how much like demonstrating I need to do with it. It's quiet. It's great. I don't sink into it. I guess I don't really have on a bra for that, but I will show you guys like that I don't sink into it, and that it's quiet. So just so you can see, when you're bouncing, there's like no noise whatsoever. And as you can see, the whole mat is going down, like not just this center piece is going. Even when I sit in the center, my you know, my ankles aren't going in. It's just really stable in the middle, and I'm not like sinking down. As you can see under the trampoline, it doesn't look like I'm gonna fall through or touch the ground or anything like that. It really maintains the mat integrity when I'm moving around. So yeah, that is my Bellicon review. Let me bring this up a little. I know it was long. I hope you got all the information that you needed. I will put my link down below. I'll put all of the links that I mentioned to studios, articles, that kind of thing down below too. I'll also link the other brands if you want to check them out. And like I said, just getting started, an Amazon bungee one, maybe switching out the bungees, and then Facebook Marketplace, great place to get started if you just want to bounce. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon.